Well, today we are celebrating Gay Pride Sunday, and I'm using the word gay in my talk today to include all of the LGBTQ community. Douglas UCC has been celebrating Gay Pride Sunday for many years, well before I was the pastor here, and sometimes this day has been referred to as Coming Out Sunday, because it's really a day for all of us, because all of us on the spiritual path, we're being called to come out to more and more of our authentic selves, to more and more of who God created us to be. That's what we're celebrating today. Now, a friend of mine recently told me about a coming out story that she had. She came out to her hairdresser. Now, she's been going to this salon for the past few months now, and she loves the way this woman does her hair. The woman also happens to be the owner of the salon. Now, my friend said when she first started going to the salon, she was a little uncomfortable because there are Christian symbols and Bible quotes on the wall of the salon. And when she went on the salon's website, she saw that the owner is very upfront on the website about her evangelical conservative Christian faith. And so at her last visit, my friend sat down, and again she got those questions about what church do you go to, are you married, do you have a boyfriend? And so my friend finally said to her stylist, look, there's something that I've been wanting to tell you for the past few months now, and I've been really hesitant to do so, but I want you to know that I'm a lesbian. And she said the stylist reached out and gave her a huge hug and looked her in the eyes and said, I am so sorry that I've made you feel hesitant to tell me that. Who am I to judge? We're all imperfect people. And when my friend told me that story, she said, Sal, isn't that a wonderful response? And I think my friend was taken aback because I said, no, actually I don't think that was a wonderful response. I said, your stylist basically said that your being gay is imperfect, and it's not. Your being gay is not an imperfection. You are perfectly made. Earlier this year, I had a similar conversation with another pastor about his use of the word brokenness when describing the gay community. And when I called him about it, he said, Sal, we're all broken people. And so I asked him, what's broken about you? And he said, Sal, if you asked my wife, she would tell you I'm broken in so many ways. He said, I'm stubborn. I'm insensitive. I can say really unkind things from time to time. I lose my temper. And I said to him, but those are all negative things. Those are all flaws. Those are all bad qualities. My being gay is not negative. It's not a flaw. It's not something bad. It's not something broken in need of fixing. So stop equating your imperfections with my perfection. Now, I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you that I said that as confidently as I said it just now. My voice was shaking, but I love that quote that says, speak the truth even if your voice is shaking. The front cover of your bulletin today says, daring disciples. That's what we're called to be, daring, courageous. We have to speak truth to people who continue to use religion to perpetuate this notion that being gay is somehow imperfect or broken or in need of fixing. The Christian church has used their interpretation of Scripture over the years to justify slavery, to keep races separate, to keep women subjugated to men. All of those interpretations are wrong. And it took daring disciples to speak truth to power so that change was made. Douglas UCC and the United Church of Christ has been open and affirming for over 30 years. But right now we're seeing daring disciples in lots of other denominations, those that may surprise us, like the Catholic faith, like the Methodist Church and the Reformed churches right now. We're seeing daring disciples who are coming forth and saying to the leadership that gay people are perfect just the way God made them, and that their being gay is a gift from God. Now, of course, most churches say, all are welcome. We welcome everybody. You can drive around this area, and pretty much every church has something on their signage that says, everyone welcome, all are welcome, come as you are. But if you go to that church and you say to them, well, can you baptize gay people? Can gay people have positions of leadership in your church? Can they be ordained? Will you marry gay people? Most will say no. To me, that doesn't indicate all are welcome, come as you are. I like the slogan that says, worship where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Because I don't want to be tolerated. I want to be celebrated. And that's what gay pride is all about. Celebration. It is all about celebration, celebrating who we are. Now, some people might say, I don't know why there has to be a gay pride month. I mean, when are we going to get our straight pride month? And usually these are the people who say, why is it Black lives matter? All lives matter. But the truth of the matter is that white lives have always mattered. And straight relationships have always been celebrated. Just look at any fairy tale or love song. And then there are those who say, but gay people are so much more visible now, and now there's marriage equality. And it is true that in the past few years, the White House has been lit up in rainbow colors, and that for 2 decades now, the President of the United States has officially declared June as Gay Pride Month. But this year, the President has not even acknowledged this month, not even in a tweet. Okay. This year, any mention of the word gay or LGBTQ has been erased from the White House website. Completely gone. And there is talk of the upcoming census about having gay people removed from the survey of the next census. In just the past 6 months alone, there are over 100 anti-gay bills that have been introduced by lawmakers. And so this year, it is very important, more than ever, for gay people to be visible and for our allies to be vocal, just like the people at Stonewall were. Stonewall was the birth of the gay rights movement, and it is the reason why we celebrate Gay Pride during the month of June, because it was on one hot June day in New York City in 1969 at a gay bar called the Stonewall Inn that a group of gay people had had enough. At that time, police would randomly and routinely raid gay bars, drag its patrons off to jail, and those patrons would have their names published in the newspaper to shame them for being gay. But on that night in June, the gay community fought back. They rioted. They said, we will no longer be ashamed. We're taking back our power. And they did. The rainbow banners that are up here today are part of that history. They were part of the world's largest and longest rainbow banner. that was carried down the streets of New York City for the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall riots. Two members of our church, Greg and Steve, carried part of that flag, and they each received a part of it, and they have gifted it to our church. And so we're so grateful to have this history with us. And we're so grateful for this reminder of God's rainbow covenant that we heard about this morning in our first reading from Genesis. Many of you know that Genesis is the first book of the Bible, and it's the creation story where God created everything. And what did God say after creating everything? God said, "It is good." Did God say, "It is broken"? "It is imperfect"? God said, "It is good." And God said, as a reminder, I'm going to create a covenant with you. A covenant is a pact. It's a connection. God says, every time you see a rainbow in the sky, I want it to remind you of my connection with you, of my love for you, of my promise to you. And I think that's why we're always so drawn to rainbows. Whenever we see them, we want to take out our camera and take a picture of them. Because there's something that connects with our spirit when we see them. It is a reminder for us of God's covenant with us. And that's why we gather here every single Sunday, is to remind ourselves of that connection with God and with one another. And we also gather here each Sunday to come out to more and more of who God created us to be. The truth of the matter is that most of us, whether we're gay or straight, we keep some part of ourselves hidden. We keep some part of ourselves in the closet, in the darkness. And the spiritual path is coming out to more and more of our truth and our light. It's why when gay people come out of the closet, they become way showers for all of us about how to be the light. It's why Jesus said in today's gospel message, nobody takes their light and hides it under a bowl. They put it up on a lampstand so all can see it. That's what gay people do when they come out fully to the truth of their being. They're no longer hiding their light. They're shining it for all the world to see. We've been taught in the Christian church that gay people are far removed from God, but it's just the opposite. When gay people connect with that truth of their being, when they become more attuned to who God created them to be, they experience not brokenness, but wholeness. And they are connected more fully to the divine light that is within them. It's why it's no surprise to me why some of the world's greatest works of art, greatest works of literature, and greatest musical compositions have been created by gay people. The rainbow symbolizes the full spectrum of light. Put all those colors together, you get the one white light of God. And so today, on Coming Out Sunday, let all of us come out to more and more of who God created us to be. Let us shine forth our light for all of the world to see. And let us continue to be vocal about justice in our nation and in our world, so that we can create a world where everyone can live fully, love wastefully, and have the courage to be all that God has created them to be. Namaste.